Alrighty guys, we're back for some Selesnya Enchantments, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath, Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks, and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got packed into the build here? Of course, Calix, Guided by Fate, is a 3-mana 2/2 legendary enchantment creature with Constellation, so whenever Calix or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever Calix or enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn. It's a pretty powerful creature, guys. It really is, and this is probably the reason we're seeing a huge uptick in Selesnya enchantments. Which honestly, I don't mind. I love how aggressive Selesnya enchantments can be, obviously, as an aggro player, right? And I also don't think it's too, like, annoying to go up against either, but I don't know. Let's go over the rest of the build, huh? Audacity is going to be a great one to work with Calix. I got all 4 of them. I know some people are only playing like 2 or 3, and some people aren't playing any Audacity, which I think is a mistake because Audacity is sweet. It's a 1-mana aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has Trample, which is going to be essential in this build. When Audacity is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, draw a card. Just powerful all around, guys. We've played it outside of enchantment builds, and it's still just pretty solid, man. Obviously, Generous Visitor, just an extra way to buff up our creatures, going to be very solid in here. All for Jukai Naturalist, naturally, just being able to make enchantments cheaper is going to be very important. Got some enchantment creatures in here between all 4 Weaver of Harmonies and all 4 Spirited Companions. The bottom ability on Weaver of Harmony is you tap a green, you tap it, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets for the copy. So of course, all of that works really well with our removal, all for Ossification, and all for Borrowed Time as well. So a great way to grab Ossification out of the deck or Audacity is Invasion of Theros. We have 2 of them in here. It's a 3-mana Battle Siege. When Invasion of Theros enters the battlefield, search your library for an Aura, God, or Demigod card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So that lets us, like I said, either search up Audacity if you're having trouble with the opponent jump blocking and stuff, or just search up Ossification, which is probably more often, yeah, you probably grab Ossification most of the time with Invasion, because there's always something really important to remove. Speaking of Ossification, guys, since it has to enchant a basic land, sure, you can enchant the same basic land over and over again, but I have run into some bad luck in the past with Ossification, so this time round, I'm not playing the legendary lands. If you really want to drop some basic land for the legendary lands, go for it. You probably won't have too many issues with Ossification, but you might. So yeah, I didn't have Seat of the Empire in here this time, and I opted for no Who Endures as well. Just more basics this time round, mainly for the Ossification, just so that no matter what, we at least see one, hopefully, right? I also have a couple Commune with Spirits. I feel like this is just a forgotten card all around. So this is a 1-mana sorcery. It's a green. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an enchantment or land card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I think this is really solid all around, and this time round it hits pretty much everything except for Invasion of Theros and Generous Visitor, so yeah. Oh, also Katilda is in here as a 1-of as well. So 3-mana legendary creature, the lifelink is just ridiculous. You guys know Katilda at this point because the enchantment decks are playing it. The disturb cost, don't overlook the disturb cost, but be very cautious about what you're casting this out onto because spot removal can really ruin that, huh? Hallowed Haunting on the top end, I think it's going to be a solid 2-of here. I don't think we want more than 2 Hallowed Hauntings, this time around at least. We only have 22 total lands, so we're not always going to actually get to the 4th mana before we win, because it's like I said, Selesnya Enchantments really knows how to be quite aggressive, honestly, so, oh man. All right, so honorable mentions, guys. Commune of Transients, should it be in the list? Probably. I couldn't find room this time. The room that I would have made would have been dropping the Commune with Spirits. And since I don't really see this in Selesnya Enchantments, I really wanted to test it out to see how good it actually is. So yeah, just a couple Commune the Spirits instead of a Commune of Transients, which is tried and true and tested. It's very powerful. It's just something to think about for sure, right? And Sealed from Existence I wanted to bring up too, because the Ward 3 is probably better now after the bans, right? Because beforehand, you had to worry about Invoke Despair number 1 cleaning up your board, and then Invoke Despair number 2 cleaning up your board again, right? And so you're just losing all of your enchantments. Sealed from Existence, the Ward 3 is probably very important on it, but I do think the double white is going to hold us up every now and then. I've really been struggling with getting the mana that I need on the board, if you guys can't tell. So yeah, no Seal from Existence this time, especially since I opted to not play all the dual land too. Again, just another way for me to squeeze more basic land in here to at least always have one on the board for as many ossifications as we need, right? So other than that, yeah, I don't think the mana base is going to hold us up at all. I think the deck is going to be pretty clean, and when worst comes to worst, Commune with Spirits can help us find the basic land too, so that should be fine. Yeah, I think it's going to be good, guys. We've been seeing a lot of Selesnya Enchantments, so I don't think this version is that much different than the ones that we've been seeing, other than, you know, well, there's a bunch of different variations of Selesnya Enchantments, but they're all basically the same thing in the long run, so yeah, I think it's going to be powerful. Let's go ahead and hop into some ranked, shall we? All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first match. Of course we do, right? Easy peasy. All right, let's see that opening hand. Opponent, what are you bringing to the table, buddy? Okay. No double white for Katilda. Double Ossification, Calix on turn 3. I don't think this is a good hand. I really don't. I'm going to keep it because I also don't think it's a mulligan, but it looks really slow for what we're capable of. Forest on turn 2 is the basic we need for the Ossification. Yeah, I think for what we're capable of, this is a slow hand, but I don't think going down to 6 would have been worth it either. Plenty of white sources in the deck too. There's a chance that we don't see it all game though, so we gotta kind of treat Katilda as the card we dropped if we would have mulliganed, I suppose. Weaver's great. Delver. Might want to take that now. Now, creature on the board is better than taking their 3-2 because we can pack more of a punch than mono blue, I would say. At least we have all the green sources required to actually use Weaver if they go another creature here. But yeah, they wanna keep counter spells open. We go Audacity. Probably be able to squeeze the Ossification number 1 down. Audacity might eat a counter spell is what I'm saying. Calix is great though. Calix definitely gets countered. Make Disappear immediately hits it. I'd rather attempt the Audacity here. It's extra damage, and then Ossification will be able to clean up Delver. And I'm not too worried about them playing a Hottigen because we have Ossification number 2 already chilling in hand. So I like the Audacity play. Copying Audacity with Calix is ridiculously powerful, by the way, guys. It can be nasty. Okay, Fading Hope. So I guess we'll clean up Delver while we can. We know how tempo can be. And so taking it while we can is totally fine. And again, if it's going to be a turn 3 Hottigen, immediate removal for it. So they want to wait till turn 4 at least. All right. Hottigen is getting gobbled on up. If we had more mana here, or another white source, it would be Naturalist first. It would be Naturalist, Weaver, and Ossification all in the same turn. Either way, I'll go ahead and put it on different basics. We know mono blue doesn't have anything to pick up land, but yeah, if you have to, you can totally put all the Ossifications onto the same basic, so. Okay, tapped land, that's fine. Attempt Jukai. Attempt Weaver. Probably removal right away, but we still try it. We got to get as much onto this board as possible. At least we stopped their onslaught of flyers for now. We have potential Katilda for next turn, which isn't a bad card for them to counter. Yeah, this is going to be an uphill battle, guys. We know like the lockdown states that mono blue can put you in. with an infinite amount of counter spells for the oncoming turns. Like, they can just keep this mana open every turn for a while. Ooh, Thirst for Discovery on our turn. Looking for creatures to play, I guess. Still have 2 mana open. Alright. 2 mana open. I guess we prefer the counterspell on Katilda, unfortunately. We don't want to play... Calix is the better play here, but if Calix gets countered now, at least if Katilda gets countered, we still have the disturb cost when it comes time, later on in the game, right? Okay, make disappear number 2. I'm not too concerned, I'm not. I'll be more concerned once they play multiple creatures on the same turn. Okay. Okay, well, I'm more concerned now. The good news is they're tapped out, so... It's probably... The land was a good draw. I guess Calix get counter on Calix, and then Weaver get counter on Weaver. Kind of spread it out, because another Fading Hope could happen at any time. Oop. We're going to be taking some damage here, but we do have Katilda's ability for next turn. If we go counter onto Calix, yeah, just like Fading Hope number 2 would be rough, man. So I'd rather spread it out. Okay, Impulse, yep, that's not good. I do like the addition of Chrome Host Seed Shark in Mono Blue. But I feel like Mono Blue, like, what do you even cut to include more creatures, you know? They can power up this quite successfully. Audacity, probably copy Audacity. Katilda, maybe? Take 7? Depends what they grabbed off the Impulse, guys. They have the blocker. They don't know we have Audacity for Trample. Or flying on Katilda, maybe they were banking on being able to counter this with a Make Disappear or something. I'd rather gain life, obviously. If that was an untapped land, that would have been really good. They're not threatening lethal yet, so we're going to go Audacity. Yeah, I don't know what they grabbed off the Impulse, but it's got to be something good, man. We got a great setup here. Next turn, we have Katilda, and right now we go Audacity because I am afraid of a third Make Disappear. Because they didn't know we had Audacity. They did know that we had Rising Dawn. Fading Hope. Okay. We can play the Calix down again. So they did that before we got the extra counter, but now we'll get an extra counter from playing the Calix. They can buff both of those to block, so we get Weaver above it. We don't tap Weaver. We want to swing, because we want to be able to copy Audacity onto the Calix here. Yeah, Audacity pairs so well with Calix, it's disgusting. It's so good, guys. We could also just copy Weaver. Do we do that? Or Ossification. Wow. Wow, I don't even know where to begin. Ossification's better, huh? Because then we'll be able to pick up the Seed Shark. Wow. They need something great off the top, man. I wasn't even thinking about the Ossifications. I wasn't. Like, I kind of just forget that they're down here sometimes. Being attached to the land. The first thought was just go Audacity onto Calix, but, I mean, we can always give it flying next turn with the Katilda ability. Power up, power up. They need something great off the top. They really do. Take 8, probably. Nah, I'll block. I'll block. I don't know what Mono Blue could have that would be a combat trick necessarily. Haughty Jin off the top. That was a great draw. Holy cow. Wow. What a great draw, man. So that was a great one for the opponent. So good. So at this point, I might just go all into the Weaver. Right? All into the Weaver. Resolve. Swing, swing. If they block there, they take 14. So they're forced to block the Weaver. But it's still going to be game because Calix gets through. So, wow. Yeah, hey. They needed a chump blocker on the ground, like keeping the 1-1 back. Good game opponent, man. That Katilda ability really knows how to buff it on up, huh? How much was it buffing it? Let me see. Let me see real quick. That can be insane, dude. Wow. So, I mean, Weaver was 1. Calix was another. Audacity, so that's 3. And then 3 Ossifications down here, too. Wow. And then 3 +1/+1 counters from the Calix. GG, man. That's something else. It's kind of what you'd expect. Like, yeah, Selesnya Enchantments seems to be in a really good spot right now. Ah! Trying to click through it all. Just getting a whole bunch of stuff all of a sudden. So that was mono blue. What else? What other parts of the meta do we want to see today? We want to see mono red. That's a large part of the meta. Azora soldiers. Yep. So mono red Azora soldiers. Oh, there we go. Wow, 18 seconds. Huh. What other ones? You know what I haven't been seeing too much of? Mono black, man. I haven't seen too much of that recently. A couple Commune with Spirits, Generous Visitor, Jukai. Look at this classic hand, man. This is an old-fashioned hand. I like this. Let's do this, man. Seems pretty good, honestly. Of course, like, we go first here, too, so right into a turn 2 Jukai is beautiful. Oh, Visitor's out of here, man. Then again, they might want to keep it open. Okay. Light up the night. Same thing, man. Jukai Naturalist. It's a little worse now that they cleaned up the Visitor, but if we're up against red, this might be big red. We're not going to light up the night, so let's resolve. Ooh, Urabrask. Ooh, this looks fun. Okay. So, start with Commune with Spirits. Jukai number 2. Borrowed time's pretty good, too. But we already have a Borrowed Time in hand and another Commune with Spirits. Probably just second Jukai. Honestly, I don't really know there. Don't really know. It doesn't affect combat, but if we did have the Generous Visitor still on the board, then playing the enchantments before combat can be very important. Mechanized Warfare. Well, at least it wasn't a Brotherhood's End, right? This is a little scary, man, because, yeah. Okay. So, Audacity's pretty good. So, Commune with Spirits kind of coming in handy there a little bit. Borrowed Time, we might want to take the Mechanized Warfare. It's not a bad target, man. Either way, Brotherhood's End would hit. Elder Dragon War. We don't know what the opponent's playing, like, at all. We should take the Warfare. Same concept, man. It doesn't affect the combat, but oftentimes you still want to play, like, in a Selesnya Enchantments deck, usually playing stuff before combat affects it, so I feel like it's actually better practice to play stuff before combat. Generally speaking, you want to wait, but no board wipe yet, huh? Play with fire, another Warfare. Swing for 6 and be happy about it, man. I don't even think we play the other Naturalist. I think we are forced to play around a Burn Down the House. Have 6 on the board. Oh, if they drop the Play with Fire, then it might not be a Burn Down the House. If they take this, then it's board wipe. That's going to be Lightning Strike. When we get the draw here, that's good. Land. We only have 22 lands, so Play with Fire. I mean, the Lightning Strike might have just been them not wanting to take the 4. Okay. We've seen a lot of land, man. In the Commune with Spirits, we avoided all the land too, so I could already see the case for going down to 21, but yeah, probably not yet. Okay, and the festivities. Wipe up this board. Audacity's great, because if they board wipe, at least we get the draw, and this is just extra damage. Down to 4. Opponent needs to see more than what they've been seeing. I feel like they've been getting a little unlucky here. Okay, and the festivities. There you go. That'll do it. That'll clean it up, huh? That does 3 to everything. Very nice. We've gained enough to stay in this long enough that maybe we can still pull this back, but... Okay. Get the land. Generous Visitor's great. Friends Resolve. Alright. We borrowed time one of the warfares. We don't, like, really know what we're going up against, but I do know one thing. Having all those warfares over there is really bad. And again, if we would have kept it for creatures, maybe. What are we up against? This is like mono red mid-range Urabrask. Strangle takes care of Visitor. Would have taken care up to 4 power actually. Oh, Weaver. Uh-oh, guys, I don't know if we're gonna get there. They have enough burn for a while. Luckily, they need a Planeswalker for this light up the night. And the festivities, okay. We still have a while, though. We are at 27. Crucible, luckily, does not work with Warfare, because they're just colorless spirits. Harmony number 2. Not bad. It's not. As long as we're seeing stuff that isn't land, it's just not bad. Reckless Impulse. Rouse Reinforcements. Dude, I love the opponent's deck. Honestly, we probably should have lost earlier. Honestly, because they had the end of the festivities. They have enough blockers on the ground for a while. Borrowed time number 3, because why not? We get to clean up the other Warfare and one of their tokens, or 2 tokens. Probably Warfare number 3. Honestly, Swift Spear, right? Because I don't think they're going to have... Probably Swift Spear. I don't think they're going to have enchantment removal. Katilda would be, like, best case scenario over the extra removal. Oh, wow. Good top deck opponent. Yeah, they better swing. Well, yeah, keep a blocker. Yeah, we could see it. We could see another Audacity. 2 blockers. Nice. Wow, Ossification off the top. Oh my goodness, dude. We're drawing well. We're drawing really well. Look, all those land and we only have 2 basics. I'll tell you what, dude. Weaver of Harmony just doing stuff, huh? Taking Elemental over the Spirits because they could see the 4th Mechanized Warfare. We know they have Planeswalkers. We know they have bigger things because we saw the Urabrask earlier. Clean up the Weaver. Swing for 3. Yep. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We don't need this on the board, so I'm just going to hold it. I don't think they play around anything fancy, but... Just swing for 3. This is, I think, technically anyone's game still, but... Okay, Reckless Impulse off the top. Couple mountains. What is even happening to the both of us right now? Oh, good draw. Good draw. Now we get another one, right? No, more land. Okay, keep Brushland in hand. That's fine. Spirited Companion might actually have to block here soon. Play another mountain. Keep 1 back. Take 2 down to 7. We see Audacity. It's good. We block, take 2, we draw. Okay, this time round we're going down to 7, but it is getting dangerous. No, more land. Oh no, we really don't need this. We really don't need it. We saw a lot of land this whole game. I could see dropping a land going up a 3rd Commune, honestly. Commune with Spirits. Oh, another Rouse. Light Up the Night still just chilling in their grave. Maybe they... Okay, let's just take the 3. Because now I think it's theirs, right? They do have Play with Fire, too. All right, they have 4 coming in regardless next turn. Plus, they could just play with Fire the Companion, but they probably want to play with Fire Face, get the Scry. Full deck opponent. I guess it's mono red mid-range, but I guess it's like burn, right? At 3 impulses. Hey, GG's. That's a fun time. They had the Ren's Resolve twice over, so... Oh, all 4 of them, actually. All 4 Ren's Resolve, 3 Reckless Impulse. That's awesome, dude. I love the opponent's deck there. That could have gone either way, like, for real. And I guess earlier, yeah, I feel like maybe they were getting a little unlucky earlier on. With all that burn packed in, they should have been able to wipe up our boards a little bit sooner. And they actually had to wait. They had to filter through a lot with all those resolves and everything, so... And then at the end there, we really struggled to push that last little bit of damage through, because every time we played a creature, it would immediately get picked up. But that being said, maybe we should have just held back some creatures. Okay, get that draw on the companion. Nice. Jukai Naturalist is great. But we probably go into Calix next turn. Probably Calix, buff Calix. Jeskai. We probably got to play around a counterspell then. At that point, I'd rather just go Invasion of Theros, grab an Audacity. Since we have 2 of them and we're playing around a counterspell. Yeah, make disappear. So that would have been our Calix. Swing for 1. I would be shocked if they tap their mana. I'm almost positive it's going to be land pass, right? We've been seeing a lot of that, so... Oh, they're looking. Ooh, Invasion of Gabakon. Okay. Well, Calix is going to be the target here, probably. 2 more. 5 mana Calix isn't that great. 4 mana Naturalist. I mean, that's fine. I'm sure it's the Calix. And it's for as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it. A spell cast this way costs 2 more, so... Could be the Naturalist, huh? Ooh. Okay. Audacity, that's a great draw, dude. Yeah, they only have the 1 mana open, so... is it gonna be burn? That makes me a little sad now, actually. Well, better spread it out, right? Because Calix has a huge target. Yep, Flame Blessed Bolt. Crap! I was gonna say, this is so good, but it's still pretty good. We swing, and then if it dies, at least we get that card draw. Probably Flame Blessed Bolt number 2, honestly. If it was gonna be removal. Jukai for 4. Invasion, we could flip Invasion. Did they miss a mana? That kind of sucks. Let's flip the Invasion, if we're allowed. Ossification. We already have 2 pieces of removal in hand. I'm just going to grab Audacity. And swing, and I'm actually just going to save that Audacity back. Even though we could draw 2 if the companion dies, they'd want to remove it before the second Audacity hits. So we'd only get the 1 card draw and then lose this Audacity. Okay, a Braid. Let's see what we draw. Hopefully a 1 mana card. Hallowed Haunting. That could be huge against like a control style deck. Visitor's pretty good though. Borrowed Time would let us hit the Invasion. Maybe it is actually Hallowed Haunting for the turn. I don't know if it lands, guys. It does land. Okay, no counterspell for the Hallowed Haunting, and honestly, dude, there's their land. It's a tapped land, but... Ooh, a second one. Dude, we're playing it. I'll tell you what. 2 Hallowed Hauntings on the board is really good against control, especially since they're a couple turns away from a farewell, too. If they see land off the top. They want to hit Borrowed Time, probably, because Ossification doesn't have a target. they go Visitor, we could still go Audacity. If they go Audacity, we could still go Visitor and then Audacity, right? So probably Borrowed Time. Oh, Visitor. Okay. So Weaver's great. 2 mana open. Rather just get more spirits on the board. Weaver's much better than playing anything that they made overpriced. More spirits on the board means more damage from our initial spirit. This looks like another Abrade. They want to hit the one that can swing. Okay. Audacity on the one that can swing. Honestly, Audacity onto... No, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. If we would have targeted Weaver, if this was like a Fading Hope or something, then we would have had the enchantment back to hand. This is 7, so I don't even think we flip this, because if we controlled the 3 other enchantments, which we do right now, it has lifelink indestructible. I think we just swing face. And we'll see what they got. I honestly, I don't know what we're up against right now. I really don't. With the invasion of Gabakons, the populate is rough. At least they didn't see the land again, though. Yeah, I guess we restock and we get the Naturalist down over the Visitor, right? Because we get 2 spirits from that. And like that restocks to the point where they need another board wipe here. Opponent might have been getting unlucky. There's their 5th, but it's tapped, so they need to depopulate and then to untap with like a Sunfall. They really do, because we're just stocking up the board every turn with Hallowed Haunting, so they need that board wipe and then like farewell on 6 when they have it. Yeah, we've played plenty of games where Hallowed Haunting closes us out against these control style decks, which I guess, yeah, it is control, isn't it? So we want to play stuff before the swing because they can take out a spirit. So it's going to be Jukai Naturalist. That was a good draw, man. These Ossifications just literally doing nothing against this build. Because it exiles target creature or planeswalker. We can exile our own and then generate 2 more, I guess. We go Borrowed Time. If it's going to be Wandering Emperor, then we need 2 more because they're going to gain 2 exile. They're going to gain 2 exile a 4/4 off an Emperor. Which means we need to get 8 through. Which we won't have. Oh, well, that works. Nice. GG, opponent. Yeah, we needed to get 8 through when it came time, and it looked like we only had 7 through. Either way, Borrowed Time was only going to pick up one of their battles, so they must not have had a Wandering Emperor there. Looked like opponent got a little unlucky. That's what it looked like, huh? So let's keep going, man. I think the deck's been great so far, and I think there's something to be said about a 3rd Commune with Spirits and dropping a land. I really do. So I wonder which land to drop, though. We'll talk more about that in the final thoughts, I suppose. Because, yeah, we are seeing a lot. I guess more testing's required overall, because 22 isn't that much, and you do want to see your 4th every now and then. Or your 3rd, for that matter. Like, look at this hand, huh? This is a bad hand. We go first. If we see a land, it's great. It's terrific. So much to draw. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for this. I have to try it. I want to see. It's all 3 Calix, too. Like, a great reason to try it is exactly what I was just talking about. Like, if we drop a land, how often do we not see a 3rd? Well, we still have 22 in here, so we should be able to see the 3rd all right. Hey, there we go. Okay, unfortunately, no turn 2. I think this is just a great way to test, though. So Calix buff Visitor twice because Calix, well, buff Calix twice? Still gets picked up by a lot. Take out Visitor before, oh! They let us keep our visitor. Buff Calix twice then, right? Keep a 4/4 on the board. Down to 14. Sure, it's extra damage, but nice. More land. That's good. Hallowed Haunting, not great against mono red necessarily. Oh, that's right. That's right. Visitor. I don't know what I was thinking there. We are forced to actually buff Visitor before the Calix enters the board. Good swing. We might need to keep an emergency blocker. We swing because there's a good chance of burn next turn. And Play with Fire is probably more likely than a Lightning Strike onto Calix. Reckless Impulse, okay. Nice. Swiftspear number 2 and another land for next turn. We can block really successfully here, so 1 in the air. That's great news, man. That's great news. Another Plains, not bad. Hallowed Haunting. Hallowed Haunting hits. We can they probably chump the Calix. Keep Visitor back as a blocker. If Calix gets through, we copy Hallowed Haunting. Yeah. Looks good to me, man. Get Visitor way above a burn range, so that way maybe we can actually successfully block a Swiftspear without them getting the prowess over top of it. And buffing the Visitor there is pretty important too, because... Okay, so Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike our face. Visitors. If we play Calix number 2... I think we risk the block here. We're at 13, guys. It's not like we have Katilda in hand for lifelink or anything, so... Play with Fire, Prowess, Prowess, so they have another thing too. To save it. Lightning Strike, Prowess, Prowess. So at least we take out a Swiftspear. We're taking 4. And now we successfully play Calix without having to worry. I mean, it worked out quite nicely, honestly. That is how the opponent wanted to play it out, though. For sure. Because they don't know we had more Calix in hand. Now, at this point, we just have to be careful about the flying. Get Calix above Play with Fire range in case they see, like, another Reckless. Oh, they have 2 Play with Fire in the grave already, so buffing a Spirit would have been good, too. So another Lightning Strike. Another Reckless Impulse, okay. Yeah, Play with Fire. Oh, Lightning Strike. Take out Calix. We can double block Swiftspear, which we do because we have Calix number 3 in hand, so... Yeah, we double block. Okay, nice. They are only swing in the air, which is great news because now our spirits kinda sorta get ridiculous here. Spirited Companion's great. Great draws. Calix number 3. Buff a spirit, sure. If they want to burn the Calix, that is fine. That's the thought process here, man. And they're gonna be forced to block one of these too. Generous Visitor, because why not? Yeah, they're forced to block Swiftspear. So the reason we don't buff the Calix is because we'd rather the Play with Fire hit it over our face. Because they could still win. They could. They have 1 in the air with Phoenix Chick. They need 7 more. They have 4 open mana. 2 of them is with Play with Fire, and yeah, they could easily burn our face. Let's see, they have 2 Play with Fires there. So it's probably not a 4th Play with Fire in hand. They have 2 Lightning Strikes, but that doesn't mean they don't have 2 more. Invasion of... Yep, that does 4. 4, guys. They have Play with Fire? Yeah, dude. Wow, that was close. Holy cow. So Play with Fire hits our face. Phoenix Chick swings in. If they had another land and another way to deal damage, we might... Yeah, this might be theirs. They didn't play a land yet this turn, right? Because we're down to 1. It could be land Commune, land 4th Play with Fire, land End the Festivities, land Boldaren Epicure. Hey, good game, opponent. I'm not gonna drop them the GGs down here because I feel like that would be a little rude after a swing like that. But it was a good game. That was really close. I know what it feels like to be on the opposite end. As a mono red player myself, I know what it feels like getting the opponent down to 1 and just not being able to get there. So this was a really fun time, guys. Now we're only 40 minutes in. Usually I would say let's hop into another one, but I do have to cut it a little short today, unfortunately. So let's go over the deck again. Plus, I had a lot to say. Here's the deck list, guys. We are seeing a lot more Selesnya Enchantments, and you can see why. That was kind of insane. We have so much ridiculous power packed in. Calix is amazing, has a huge target on its back, and it doesn't even matter that it has a target on its back. They remove it, and we just play all of our other amazing stuff, right? I think in a deck with all of these enchantment creatures, Weaver of Harmony is actually sweet. We did get to kind of see that bottom ability do a thing today, even though we didn't end up winning that match. I think Weaver of Harmony is still going to be worth the 4 of. That being said, there's probably a whole bunch of ways to balance your Selesnya Enchantments deck, and I'm pretty sure almost all of them will work fine. So, however you want to put your Selesnya Enchantments together, I think it'll be fine. I really do. That being said, this is definitely a way to put it together. I could potentially see ranking up with this exact version of the list. That being said, we were flooding a few times. We have 22 total. We're leaning towards the white here, but if you look at our 1-drops, they are all green. That's why the even split over here. What would I do? Maybe drop the farmland, go up a commune. I could see that. I really could. Now, we didn't have any issues finding basic lands for the ossifications, but I do think that's because we have 12 of them. Could we go down to 10? Sure, I guess. You know, that's 1/6 of the deck if you go down to 10. How often are you going to get unlucky and never see a basic, at least one basic for as many ossifications as you want? There's going to be a match here or there. Does that mean, is that worthwhile to throw in the legendary lands? Maybe. So I could see dropping a farmland. I could see dropping a plains and going up a Seat of the Empire. You'll still have 11. I don't like that though. I'll tell you what, man. Sometimes I just get so unlucky that maybe I'm just too paranoid about it though. No, I like the basics. I like having the basics. It depends though how I'm sorry guys. It's like I said, yeah, I think I'm just too paranoid about getting at least one basic for the ossifications. You know, ossification doesn't miss that often, I guess, overall. Now, I think I would drop the farmland down to 21, go up the commune. If you do that, it's going to be a really even split between green and white anyways, and I think you'd be fine. It's still going to be leaning white just a little bit, right? So I think the even split's perfect because we have so many green 1-drops at that point then, and you probably always want to see green on your first turn. If not to play a visitor, then to at least go commune with spirits and find something great. What does commune the spirits hit? I didn't really drag them over here, but it hits like everything in this. It's like everything, dude. Look at this. This is insane. So these are the only cards that commune with spirits doesn't hit. And so no matter what, you're probably seeing something out of those 4. You know what I mean? Like the odds of you just seeing 2 Invasion of Theros, a Katilda, and a Visitor as your 4 top cards? Not likely. Not likely at all. At the very least, you're going to hit a land, and maybe that'll help you find that basic. See, that's why if you go up the commune, the 3rd commune, then maybe you could drop one of the basics for some of the legendary lands. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it. I really don't. Okay, what else to talk about here, guys? All 4 borrowed times were important. All 4 ossifications were kind of important. They did sit in our hand that one game, but usually you're going to have so many targets anyways. You're going to see a lot of mono red. You want targets, or you want ossification to target those, especially if they're the type of mono red that plays Feldon, then the exile is going to be very important instead of like blocking Feldon, which is really bad. You know what I mean? Like ossification and borrowed time working wonders against soldiers too, especially when paired with the Weaver of Harmony. I mean, there's just like there's so much power. I like all 4 Audacities too. I think Audacity is very, very important, and it works so well with the Calix as well. The Hallowed Hauntings were worth it because when you do go up against control, or just in general, like that mono red list really didn't like us having that Hallowed Haunting on the board. Happens to be pretty powerful, and there's actually plenty of turns where you go turn 2 Naturalist into a turn 3 Hallowed Haunting too, which is definitely early enough to just work against any build anyway, so yeah, guys, I think this is definitely a way to put it together. I guess the only real thing I would do is drop the farmland, go up a 3rd Commune the Spirits, and I think I'd be pretty satisfied with that. And then I could totally see ranking with this. But I guess overall more testing's required, but if you end up flooding out a lot, that's what I would do. Guys, if you made it this far into the video, then for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.